Supreme Champion Crothor stood 3 meters tall, his exoskeleton gleaming with the scars of 1,000 victories. Across 47 star systems, his name was whispered with reverence and terror. He had defeated the Blade Masters of Zentori, crushed the War Priests of Doom, and once killed a siege beast with his bare claws. No one had survived a duel with Crothor in 30 years. The arena on Nexus Prime was packed with spectators from hundreds of species, all eager to witness the champion's latest conquest. Today's challenger stood barely 2 meters tall, wore no armor, and carried no visible weapons. The human, a woman named Sarah Chen, stretched casually as if preparing for morning exercise. "You mock me with your appearance," Crothor rumbled, his translator turning his clicks into the common tongue. "Where is your honor? Your battle plate? Your ceremonial blades?" Sarah rolled her shoulders. "Don't need them." The crowd murmured. Crothor's mandibles clicked with amusement. "I have broken warriors twice your size. I will try to make your death quick, little human, out of respect for your bravery." "Appreciated," Sarah said. "But you're gonna want to try harder than that." The gong sounded. Crothor moved with speed that belied his massive frame, his combat claws extending as he lunged. Sarah wasn't there. She'd sidestepped with minimal movement, as if she'd known exactly where he'd strike. Crothor spun, confused. Humans weren't supposed to be fast. They were soft-worlders, barely qualifying for Class 3 threat status. He attacked again, a combination strike that had decapitated the Iron Guard of Valtor. Sarah ducked, weaved, and deflected his claw with her forearm. The impact should have shattered her bones. Instead, Crothor felt his own joint strain. "What are you?" he hissed. "Persistence Predator," Sarah replied, circling. "From a death world. We're not the strongest or fastest, but we're really good at 2 things, adapting and not giving up." Crothor roared and unleashed his full strength, a berserker assault that had leveled fortifications. Sarah didn't try to match his power. She moved like water, redirecting his momentum, using his own mass against him. Every strike he threw, she turned into an opportunity. A sweep took his legs. A palm strike to his thorax cracked his exoskeleton. A joint lock hyperextended his primary arm with a sickening crack. The champion of the galaxy found himself on his back, staring at the arena ceiling, a human knee on his chest and her elbow at his throat. "Yield," Sarah said calmly. The arena was silent. Crothor's pride screamed at him to continue, but his warrior's instinct, honed through centuries of combat, recognized something he'd never encountered before: perfect efficiency. The human hadn't wasted a single movement. Every action had purpose. She'd fought with the patience of a predator that knew, inevitably, prey got tired. "How?" he gasped. "You have no natural weapons. No armor plating. No enhanced strength." Sarah helped him up, an act of respect that surprised him. "We don't need any of that. Humans hunted animals by chasing them until they collapsed from exhaustion. We threw rocks with enough accuracy to kill from a distance. We learned to use tools because our bodies weren't enough." She tapped her temple. "We evolved to outsmart, outlast, and adapt to anything. You're stronger? Great. I'll use leverage. You're faster? Cool. I'll predict your patterns. You're tougher? Perfect. I'll wait for you to tire yourself out." Crothor looked at his claws, weapons that had ended countless lives. Then at Sarah's bare hands, calloused but unmarked. "You could have killed me. Wasn't the point. You wanted a duel, not an execution." Sarah offered her hand, the human gesture of goodwill. "Besides, you've got a reputation. Killing you would just make others want revenge. Beating you and walking away? That makes people think twice." In the VIP section, a Valerian war chief leaned toward his aide. "Update the human threat assessment. To what level, sir? The war chief watched Sarah leave the arena to thunderous applause, Crawthor bowing to her in respect, something the champion had never done for any opponent. Maximum. Not because they're the strongest. He gestured at the spectacle below. But because they don't need to be. Humans will find a way to win with whatever they have. Strength, tactics, endurance, psychology, they'll use everything. And they never, ever stop learning. Crawthor stood alone in the arena, processing his defeat. In 3 decades, he'd never felt outmatched. The human hadn't been stronger or faster. She'd simply been better at the one thing that mattered most in combat, winning. He replayed the fight in his mind, analyzing every movement, every counter, every adaptation. The human had turned his greatest strengths into liabilities. More terrifying, she'd done it while barely breathing hard. Crawthor made a decision. Tomorrow, he would seek out the human and ask her to train him. If he was to remain the champion, he needed to learn what made Deathworlders so dangerous. It wasn't their weapons or their armor. It was their absolute refusal to accept that anything was impossible.